Risk of Rain 2 recently released a new DLC called Survivors of the Void, which adds new zones, items, a new game mode, new music, and an alternate ending to the game.
And it's so fucking good!
Risk of Rain 2 is a third-person action roguelike dungeon crawler with 3 difficulties: Drizzle, Rainstorm, and Monsoon, easy, medium, and hard respectively. The difficulty will scale the longer the timer runs, so it is incentivized to progress as fast as possible. Risk of Rain can be played solo or with up to 3 other players. You begin with nothing and must pick your way through different stages, killing enemies, collecting gold, and using said gold to collect items to strengthen yourself. A teleporter will spawn at a random point in the map, which can be activated at any time. This will enact a teleporter event that spawns a teleporter boss. You must defeat the boss and the trash mobs around it and stay near the teleporter to charge it. Fully charging it will allow you to advance to the next stage. You must pick your way through 5 zones until you make it to the final stage and defeat the final boss. You can also loop back around and continue your run and see how long you can last without dying. You know what? I'm not even mad. There are also artifacts that will change how the game plays, adding new elements and rules to the runs, which we'll talk about later. But for now, we'll talk about the survivors. Just the first 2, because I can. When you boot up Risk of Rain for the first time, you are given the option of 2 different survivors, Commando and Huntress. Railgunner if you also bought the DLC, but again, I'm only going to be talking about the first 2. Commando is a jack-of-all-trades survivor that is great for beginning players. He is an all-around character and does not excel in anything particular. He has dual pistols that shoot at a constant speed, a secondary ability that fires a piercing bullet that can travel through terrain and enemies, a roll for his utility, and a special that fires a burst of rounds and stuns any enemies it hits. Huntress, my favorite survivor and the one I main, is a mobility huntress. Get it? Cause like the name, you know, her name is Huntress and she's an actual.
Shut the fuck up!
Her primary is a heat-seeking strafe that fires 1 arrow at a time or a 3-shot burst. A laser glaive that bounces off enemies causing a chain reaction, dealing more damage after every hit. Her utility is a near instant blink that can teleport her in any direction. And her special is an AoE that deals damage over time to anybody within radius. Huntress excels in high crit and high damage output, optimized for group damage, but with the trade-off that she has less starting health than any of the 12 other survivors. Each survivor has their own strengths and weaknesses, as one item will work well with one survivor, and the same item may not be as good for a different one. For example, Leeching Seed, an item that will grant you healing the more damage you deal, can work great with Huntress due to her low health cap, but can be terrible for Void Fiend, who relies on taking damage to transform into a corrupted form to deal high amounts of damage towards enemies, and is punished for taking in too much healing. The fun of it is experimenting with each survivor, seeing which one is right for you, figuring out which items do what, and seeing which of those items work best for the survivor you chose. There are 10 different survivors to unlock, with new skills and skins to unlock with each one. To unlock a survivor or item, you must complete a challenge. Some of them are straightforward, such as finish stage 3 without dying, or to beat the game. Others are a bit more cryptic, like free the survivor suspended in time, or to kill yourself.
Alright, I'll see you later, bro.
The game currently offers a normal dungeon crawler and 3 alternate game modes: Prismatic Trials, Eclipse, and a new one with the DLC. Wait, how do you pronounce that? What? What?
Simulacrum.
Simulacrum? Okay. Alright. Prismatic Trials is a solo-only time trial that challenges you to complete a fixed seed, racing against the time and compete with other players in getting the fastest time possible. The trials are a fixed seed, which will play the same for everybody so that one person does not have an unfair advantage. The only difference can be that you can choose whichever survivor you want. A new seed will randomly generate every 72 hours, and will have different modifiers and artifacts every time, so every seed is never the same. Eclipse plays like normal, but will add a stacking modifier to your run. Every time you beat the game, your Eclipse level will permanently increase with the survivor you use that run, up to a max of 8 levels. Each modifier is more difficult than the last. Eclipse is locked on Monsoon difficulty, and artifact items cannot be used. Simulacrum is a wave-based arena that encloses you in a small bubble. Moving out of this bubble will result in constant damage until you get back inside. The goal is to kill all enemies to advance to the next wave and survive for as long as possible. There is a boss wave after every 5 waves. After defeating the boss, you will be moved to a different location and will go to a new environment after 10. Monsters will also receive a random item every 10 waves to be buffed that stays until the run is over. You receive an item after each wave and are given a choice of 1 of 3 items. Chests and interactables can also be found around the area. A random event will occur that will allow you to choose whatever item you want of that respective rarity for that wave. Once you die, the round will be added as a high score for every survivor. Bro, you play on Rainstorm? You fucking suck, dude. You're so trash. Oh my god.
Shut the fuck up, idiot.
Like, I am a god. Everybody says, who does he think he is? I just told you who I thought I was. A god. I just told you. That's who I think I am. Would it have been better if I had a song that said, I am a nigga?
There are over 170 items and equipment combined, with 7 different types of items with color coding to indicate the rarity. Common, uncommon, legendary, boss, lunar, equipment, and void.
Stare into the void.
Common, uncommon, and legendary are found in normal chests and multi-shops. Boss items have a small chance to be dropped after defeating a teleporter boss instead of the usual uncommon item. Lunar items are found in looter pods or in the hidden bazaar. Looter items cost lunar coins, a secondary currency which has a 0.5% chance of being dropped by any enemy.
Or you could just, cheat and get infinite coins.
Lunar items are different, as they give a massive drawback along with an extremely powerful buff. Like Shaped Glass. Shaped Glass will double your overall damage but cuts your health completely in half, basically making you a glass cannon. Equipments are unique as they do not give a constant passive, but rather an active skill that provides a powerful effect and is recharged after a certain amount of time. Void items are new with the DLC that changes the current effects of an item. For instance, Lens Maker glasses will normally add a 10% chance to critically hit an enemy. But with the new Void item, Lost Seer's Lens, will corrupt any glasses you have in your inventory, removing the crit chance, and will instead add a 0.5% chance to insta-kill any non-boss enemy. And most importantly, it stacks. The more lenses, the higher chance an enemy is erased from history. Some items are blocked behind a challenge wall, forcing you to play the game and completing achievements before they are allowed to be spawned in during runs. And some of these items are essential. Like to unlock Tougher Times, an item that will roll to negate any incoming damage literally requires you to die 5 times. It's a nice approach. The Risk of Rain doesn't hold your hand. It forces you to confront the game head on.
Oh, it doesn't hold your hand? Kind of like that one game. You ever heard of Elden Ring? You ever play Elden Ring yet? It's so good, bro. It's so good.
But as you progress and unlock more items, you begin to remember item effects and learn which ones to grab and which ones to drop into the ocean.
Welcome to my stream. Today we're gonna throw car batteries into the ocean. Let's go. Get some pogs in the chat.
A fun way for the game to show you how many items you have is that every unique item has a spot on your survivor, making you look like an absolute god near endgame runs.
I'm Jesus. I'm descendant of God. And you.
How are you alive? This is ridiculous. I've blown up every other person that has worked for me in totally. Okay, I will ignore that because that wasn't a very big.
Artifacts add a new spin to your runs, changing the rules and how the game plays. To unlock artifacts, you need to make your way to Sky Meadow and head underneath the map. There, you'll find a machine called the Compound Generator. You must input 9 shapes into the machine to create a pattern to interact with the laptop. Putting in a correct pattern will cause a portal to open.
You're going to Brazil!
Going in will teleport you into the Ambry. You must defeat the Artifact Reliquary by giving it artifact keys that are randomly dropped from enemies. The artifact you are trying to get initially will also be in effect the whole time. Once you complete the challenge, you will be awarded the artifact and will be looped back around to the first stage. You can find codes hidden in slabs around environments, with a total of 16 to find.
Or you could just look it up. Like, look at this fucking pattern. Who figures that out?
Oh shit. Here we go again.
So I'm gonna be honest, I was trying to make a chapter dedicated to talk about the environments, but there really isn't much about them, at least that I could find. So I'm just gonna give you a TDLR of what I got, and then we'll get to the good part that I've really been wanting to talk about this entire video. No, not yet. Wait your turn. Okay, so there are 22 environments, 14 main, 8 hidden. The main environments are for progressing normally. The hidden realms are for dedicated sections, like the Lunar Item Shop to unlock survivors, artifacts, etc. Timers are also paused for most hidden realms. And new hidden zones for the alternate ending. Each environment gives off their own personality, with their own enemy types, color scheme, and music. Oh yeah, you like that transition, huh? Don't you? That sway into the next segment? Fuck, I'm good at this.
She didn't have to cut me off. Think I like it never happened, that we were nothing. I don't even need your love, but you treat me like a stranger and I feel so loved.
The music, in one word, is a masterpiece. The music is composed by Chris Christodoulou, and he has a pretty decent track record, having worked on short films, a feature film, and another game called Deadball, also made by Hoppo Games. And you can hear the similarities in his other tracks. For a game that is designed to get you to leave a level as fast as possible, you don't get to fully enjoy the music, which is why I'll listen to it while editing this video or while I'm at work.
How do you add the fucking effect? How do you... Why are you...
The only other games I can think of off the top of my head that have made me go out of my way to listen to the soundtrack are Final Fantasy XIV, Skyrim, and Minecraft. Each soundtrack is better than the last, and just makes you want to turn the sound effects all the way down and just vibe to it. And Survivors of the Void completely excels any expectation I had before. Fuck, even the menu screens have their own music. It's groovy, energetic, it motivates you to keep going, giving you enough motivation to take on anything that's throwing you, whether it's the trash mobs or the elite bosses. And finally, after everything you've been through already, you must take on one last challenge.
Yo, yo, yo! Ah!
Originally, I wanted to tackle the final boss, but as I was writing a script, I didn't really know how to write or talk about him, and also just didn't know how to talk about him without spoiling the experience. Because when I first played the game and I first encountered the final boss, I was dead the whole time, the entire fight, so I was just spectating my friend. So it wasn't as impactful for me because I didn't really get to be there. I just was watching in the sidelines. So I decided, which will probably make or break this whole video, is that it'd be best to not talk about him and have you experience him firsthand, as I was unfortunate to not be able to have that experience. So instead, I want to leave you with my final thoughts. Risk of Rain is perfect. Survivors of the Void just somehow adds on top of a masterpiece and makes it better than before. And the devs have consistently dropped amazing updates since early release launch and seems to be no intention of stopping anytime soon. For me, Risk of Rain is kind of my guilty pleasure right now. I'll just hop on, do a run or two, and then just get off. And I'll repeat that every day. And even though I only play Huntress because I'm stubborn and I hate change and I hate new things, I want to make it a goal for myself to try to unlock everything Risk of Rain has to offer. All the skills, skins, my Eclipse tiers, all the artifacts I haven't gotten yet. This DLC has reignited my love for Risk of Rain. Risk of Rain is available on Steam for $25 and the DLC for $15, and it's cheaper if you buy it in a bundle. And I highly recommend it. It is one of the best roguelikes out there at the moment. Thank you, Hoppo Games, for making such an amazing game. Thank you, Chris, for making awesome music. And thank you for watching.